which in children's literature is the use of a character that was created by someone else. And what the characters that are typical are fairy tale characters, because that's traditional literature, there's no copyright infringement. And the advantage to the author is that they don't have to waste space and time in this little short picture book creating a new character.
Right, because when you create a new character, you have to introduce the character to the reader, you have to develop that character fully, so in the story. So if you're using a well-known and loved or hated character, like I see Mother Goose on here. I think that's Mother Goose.
Mother Goose.
One of the three little pigs, the
three bears,
the
Goldilocks.
Three bears, Goldilocks, the plate and the spoon. What's that from? The old,
that's
Hi Diddle Diddle.
Yes, that's
fiddle.
A Mother Goose rhyme, yeah.
So we know about those characters, and that way, I see. That's very interesting.
So in this book, the author and the illustrator are a married couple. So that probably is very close to being the same person.
They're collaborators, right?
Right, they're close collaborators, so they understand each other's vision. And this is a book you don't find in public libraries very often because it has, each page is facing an envelope. And the envelope is an actual envelope.
Oh, cool.
Inside the envelope is a letter.
Oh, wow. So this is something that would be kind of difficult to put in the library because it's got pages and you got kids.
The letters would disappear. And this first one is a letter from Goldilocks to Mr. and Mrs. Bear and Baby Bear. I am very sorry indeed that I came into your house and ate Baby Bear's porridge. Mommy says I am a bad girl. I hardly eat my porridge when she cooks it. And she says, Daddy says he will fix the little chair. Love from Goldilocks. P.S. Baby Bear can come to my party if he likes. There will be 3 kinds of ice cream and a magician.
Ooh, fun. So is part of what makes this book postmodern that the media is a little bit different? I mean, it's still print, but it's interactive. It's an interactive book.
And it uses characters, not only the 3 bears, but other characters as well, as we can see. So the postman drank tea with the 3 bears and then headed along his way. And the next person he visited, the next envelope says, the occupant, gingerbread bungalow, the woods. And this appears to be some kind of advertising. It says, open now, don't delay. This could be your lucky day.
It looks like junk mail.
Junk mail, yes. So it's being delivered to the witch in the gingerbread cottage. So when we open this, it is indeed an advertising flyer.
Oh, cool.
And it advertises witch supplies.
You may not be able to see the nuances in this one either, but yeah, it looks just like a piece of junk mail you would get in your weekly mail. It says Hobgoblin Supplies Limited, everything for the modern witch, delivered to your door or den, covens catered for. And then it's got a bunch of stuff that you can buy if you're a witch. That's really cool.
Yes.
And so this is pastiche.
Right. This is an example of pastiche. And this particular author-illustrator team did quite a large number of those that employ other characters.
Okay, so if you're interested in reading the Jolly Postman or other things by these authors, you will note that in your course materials, the books that Ellen is talking about today are listed, and so you can find those on your own.
Regrettably, Janet Alberg passed away several years ago, so Alan Alberg is now collaborating with another illustrator, and those books are not, to me, quite as charming as these are.
They must have had a really special collaboration. Well, being husband and wife might do that.
They were close. Okay, let's see. Other characters that are frequently used are Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood, to name a couple. Robin Hood is legendary, so that's traditional literature in a way. Sherlock Holmes, however, was created by another author, so I suspect that there are copyright implications.
Right, I was just thinking about that. So what, Arthur Conan Doyle, right, is the creator of Sherlock Holmes, but those particular stories and books are in the public domain now.
Right,
so that
right.
would make that would make an easy use of a character for pastiche. But I would imagine that if you wanted to use a more recent character, you would need to check with copyright to.
You would probably need to get the permission, of the author,
Mm-hmm.
of the creator of the other character.
So that explains why very traditional or legendary characters are used in this example of postmodern literature.
Right.
What's this?
This is another example. This is a YA book, The Outlaws of Sherwood, and as you can tell probably from the title, it's about Robin Hood. So this is, of course, no pictures to show you, but this is really a good book. I've read it several times and I quite like it.
By Robin McKinley.
Robin McKinley.
What
yes.
about, I'm thinking of another story, Ella Enchanted.
Oh,
Is
right.
that
yes.
an example
yes,
of pastiche?
That's an example of that.
Okay, because it's a fractured fairy tale.
Yes.
And it's using a character.
Right, and fractured fairy tales from the old Bullwinkle television show. Those are excellent examples of postmodernism.
Cool.
Excellent.
All right. So postmodernism can happen in
A variety of media.
yeah, more media than just books. Yeah.
Architecture, which I'm not familiar with as much, but I suspect that it employs examples of more classical kinds of architecture in a modern setting. I could be wrong about that. And music the same way. It employs fragments from other composers.
Ooh, I bet a good example of postmodern music would be if any of you have seen the film Moulin Rouge, and there's this mashup of songs that are created in one song. That would be an example.
That would be an
Yeah?
example.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. Oh, that's good background. Okay. And this
Okay.
next book is?
This next book is Anthony Brown, Into the Forest. And this one is interactive, and it also employs the use of other characters.
And we're still talking about pastiche in this book?
Right.
Okay.
And this one is a little bit, for younger readers, I suspect a little bit scary.
Yeah.
It's a little dark.
Yeah, you can't see the illustrations on camera, but it has this tone that is, yeah, it is. If I was a kid, I think that would be a little creepy to me, for sure.
Right, and it gets worse. I mean, the trees get darker and closer together.
Yeah, the trees kind of look like they have faces on them, and they're kind of spooky.
And and you can see examples through the trees of other stories.
Oh, interesting. So what are some of the examples in that one that
Okay,
you
well, this
saw?
is Hansel and Gretel.
So this is the character
Right.
who's the main character of the
Going
story.
through the forest.
He's in color, and then everything's in kind of these black and white, grayish tones, and he's seeing Hansel and Gretel as he's walking through the forest.
And there's a little boy in a cage back there. Yes, it definitely
It's
is
creepy.
Kind of dark. This one is.
And then I see in the very back that looks like the gingerbread house. Yeah. Okay.
Right. There's an axe.
Little Red Riding Hood.
And then there's
coat.
the
Little Red Riding Hood's coat.
Mhm.
Disembodied Little Red Riding Hood.
There's a pumpkin. There's a spinning wheel.
There's a cat down here.
There's
a turret.
A long braid coming
Oh
out
yeah,
of
I
the turret.
see it. Rapunzel. Yeah.
So this is kind of a fun thing for kids to do, to see how many stories they can pick out in books that don't actually talk about them, because that book doesn't mention any of those characters, really.
So it seems to me that like a book like this, Ellen in particular, might be useful for if we look at it in terms of teaching. If any of you are in a school library setting and where you're needing to teach story elements or something like this, two thoughts are coming to mind for this book, Into the Forest. And one is that I think you could probably use this book with